which impairs their ability to meet their basic needs and maintain a reasonable standard of living. So that is the meaning of harsh economic situation. In a killing, the first thing you will highlight that harsh economic situation can happen to an individual. Harsh economic situation can happen to groups of people. Harsh economic situation can also happen to families and also states. When I now started looking at the details, you can see where I delve deep into looking at the 3 levels of harsh economic situation. Harsh economic situation now happen when with limited resources or income. And then because of your limited resources and income, you may face significant difficulties in life. Right? And if you get mala about that now, only people who harsh economic situation have become their way of life. You are in what is called a poverty trap. Harsh economic situation, and that is what is called multidimensional poverty. Right? Where individuals or communities are stuck in deprivation due to systemic factors. So, harsh economic situation, I don't want us to look at harsh economic situation as something in some instances and to some people, to some people, that harsh economic situation, it continues for the rest of their life. And in some families, so no way head wrong with Obwenye. A man that's not the person is in a harsh economic situation and has been in a harsh economic situation his entire life. Okay, what about harsh economic situation? Right?
I need to take notes.
Okay.
Yes.
Good.
You know,
Mana, the harsh economic situation in a country or in your society doesn't mean that as a person, we're gonna experience a harsh economic situation. Right? Your economic situation during that harsh economic period. So now, so people are back in Nigeria and economic situation the harsh. Meanwhile, your pockets are now saying a situation are harsh. Now the economic situation of the country, everybody are now saying that's now economic situation the good. Meanwhile, your pocket are now economic situation the good. So I want us to begin today to separate the economic situation in our environment from our own personal economic situation. This distinction is very necessary for us to now begin to plot how we are going to survive that environmental harsh economic situation. It is a fallacy of thought for somebody to believe that now once your environmental economic situation the harsh, now your personal economic situation got another harsh. It's a fallacy, and I want to start by dispelling it. Let nobody believe that, and I will show you, demonstrate to you via principles and with stories how and how everybody's economic situation changes. So the first thing is that I want you to realize that in an environmental economic situation, where a personal economic situation. There are people who you will meet who will tell you that in Nigeria the harsh, irrespective of what you say, think, or do. That's not the problem, but not their solution, but back to another country. When you here, look where another country, they face harsh economic situation. So for that person, harsh economic situation, irrespective of what happens. However, like I said, we must separate the environmental economic situation from our personal economic situation in trying to decipher a solution for our personal economic situation. Get enable you withstand the harsh environmental situation for the economy when it happens. And also will enable us thrive when the environmental situation in the economy is thriving. Are we still together?
Totally together.
Okay, good.
So
the first thing actually, but that's now. There was a time when economic situation in Nigeria are good. There was a time economic situation in Enugu State is good. Enough we had. Man, some people, their personal economic situation, the bad. Right? So if you're that person, okay, in the economy, the bad. There was a time in Nigeria, like now, economic situation, the bad. Right? Then if you're a state, and I just related the states, that's in places like the United States, economic situation in the country are different from economic situation in the states. But in Nigeria, the two are synonymous. All the bad in Nigeria, that the bad in the state. Then, of course, personal situation, the person at the hash. In that case, it's an economic situation, the hash. Right? That is what we qualify as a hash economic situation. Man, for some individuals, economic situation in the country we get bad. Economic situation in the state are the bad. Yet their personal economic situation are the good. Right? For some other people, economic situation is good in the country, or good in the state. For that person, economic situation are the good. Can you move from a negative economic situation, a hash? Can you back into the good economic situation? So that irrespective of what is happening, either at a state level, at the country level, and you're in a good personal economic situation. That is the aim of this presentation and this talk and this discussion. So that irrespective of what is going on in Nigeria, or irrespective of what is going on in the state, at the United States, you will have a good personal economic situation. And I can work together. So my aim is to, via this and this discussion, migrate people from this quadrant to this quadrant. Superman nubu flag. Here you're a Superman. You notice that now, if all of us in Abo can migrate to this quadrant here, Abo will be a much better place.
Sorry to interrupt. I feel that the wrong. I don't know if course sliding. You are talking about quadrants, but I had a friend.
Yes, DJ, you're not moving your slides.
Okay, I'm not moving my. They move well.
Oh, so
yeah, we are seeing the right one now.
Okay, you're seeing your slideshow. Sorry, none of them on slideshow. None of them on slideshow. Okay, in Kabun came before. When I forgot this one, Keta, and that you go, Mazu.
Yes, I know for your economic situation.
When I forgot before.
No, but I think you.
I have all those.
Okay, come not here. This is the caveat to take out. Okay, this is the caveat. Okay, no one you shouldn't take notes. This is the caveat to take. Ashimna get here. About that this presentation. 20 years from today, Nga na ikwu as an authority. Man, I'm in my 50s. Abraham authority. You just share with everybody. That is what I said. Then I go to this next one, and here is what I defined by what is hash economic situation. And here is where I began separating. A hash economic situation can happen to an individual. It can happen to a group of people. And here, hash economic situation, where it continues continuously, it then becomes a poverty trap. And that poverty trap can happen to in that case, I should say on a multidimensional poverty. And a family, and I wonder why this family are admirable. And in some cases, after the Brazilian dominant, no will go on a family. Now made that family. But it's just that they haven't learned some basic lessons of life. So it moves me to this. So now, you must separate your personal economic situation from your environmental economic situation. What I'm saying. And here, with this quadrant, I now try to delineate it. And my aim is that now, via these principles, we'll move people, via this principle, from this quadrant to these two quadrants. And what this quadrant means, don't go to Nigeria, don't join Enugu State. Or don't man Nigeria, don't man Enugu State. So no two well there, I feel that I need a more operating at this quadrant. Ibiana abo, umoro bihana mandam manabo. We will be jamming. Unagota. So now that is the aim of this discussion and this topic, and that is why I felt not the very, very germane and not the very good in the life of somebody here. And where there is no law that says you must remain in this quadrant because it is the bad. So anybody now shaking now because now this is the bad in Nigeria, this is the bad, shake the person nash. That is the first thing I'm telling you. And oh, you know, get in this quadrant. After the action that Nando Mena and Agorogu, Korogu, they will share Merunu, Nuna de go. It is simply because that you are not implementing some basic fundamental life principles. So, what is some basic things in Amaha about this life? And whether Emia or not, life will keep on functioning in that way.
Absolutely.
And we still together.
Hey, we are together. Yes.
I want the young ones to answer. I want the young ones because on them on their 20s and 30s come talk how to
we are together.
Oh, okay. The must get 20s and 30s only.
We are together. The first thing I'm telling you. That's near the chicken and Nigerian mean when you're supposed to be.
Ndị 40 na 50 years no no ndị 30 ka na agwa 30 na.
Thank you.
Na 20. That's in Nigeria the bad. I mean you're supposed to be bad. That is the first lane. You had a little bad. Imagine that now you're not implementing some basic life lessons. Those life lessons are what we will go through. If you start implementing these life lessons, if not by the time you're getting to 40 and 50, that's an easy move into this quadrant. He had the Bama Nigeria or Delagamma. He had the Wanjana Nigeria or Delagamja or Delagamma. That is the aim of this presentation. When imagine that name or that no family the first thing I'm telling you in moving this quadrant is that now life moves in cycles. He had the chanjo or gadama. He had the chamma or gadanjo. Una watari ham new. Hello. So for you to say that he had done John Nigeria today, he can have mentioned them one day, Imanash. He had the challenge on John, he had Gadalagama. So that's now the first thing you must note is that now every country, every state, and yourself, your economic cycle, it moves in cycles. He had the challenge relative to where you are. Can you an example? Assuming that's now in a 500,000 naira, your operating range is 500,000 naira. You will notice that now across your life, right? Oh, when Moga Abe Nokete, you went 750. That is relative to where you are. Look at that 750 or that 500. You have the equivalent of 250. Any day that 500 will be the equivalent of 250. It's about that an economic situation already harsh. Because that 500, that man negotiated here 500 in the before. Okunu what are you? So that's now cycle. Everybody, you at your level, you will cycle. You will a cycle of economic situation, which goes from good to bad. Meaning, kisha atego across your life. Only mboga nokete ihadabalagama na your life. When mboga abu nokete ihadabalagonjo na your life. Ihadabalagama na your life. Imani neba na the cycle. Ihadabalagonjo imani neba. Again, for your state, where the state is different from the country. Nigeria experienced economic growth for 10 straight years. You can say that Nigeria are not here at that point in time. Since Buhari Bia, Tinubu Anachi, Nigeria is experiencing economic harshness. I am telling you today, now at a point in time, there will come a time when Nigeria will experience economic growth. Hello.
Yes,
Same thing for you across your life. You get notice no one we gabu in and now one day again, I get it. It cannot like a life for God. Wow, nwere mgbe ọ ga-abụ olukwe na your life ịchọ ego ịma nweta ego isi chọọ ịghọtara ihe m na-ekwu anọketekwe inweta ego every society and every country experiences these economic cycles. Ke ka nche mụta ihe a amụtara m ihe a na-akọrọ unu n'aka mmadụ na-abụ. The first person m na-ekwu maka this economic cycle of life bụ Coscharis, Dr. Cosmos Maduka. He was the first person who gave me an introduction to this. In fact, Yama Mecha go nke bụ na Yama plot go nke according to his timeline of his life. Shigina na mgbe ọ na-enwe ego, na mgbe ihe ga-eshiri ike. And ihe shiri ike mean that na ọ ga-ada ogbenye dashie enyi ike. It's just that na he will meet difficulties in his life where quantum of money ọ na-enwete amandese as much as he used to be. Ịghọta. Amụtara m ihe a n'aka Dr. Chris Maduka. Then there's a man a na-akpọ Raymond Dalio. He's one of the richest men in the United States. He's the owner of the world's largest fund. Nke bụ that na ọ kọchara maka these cycles of life dị maka ya n'akwụkwọ. Ịghọta. And so that is why the first recommended reading about principles by Ray Dalio. And these are principles of life. And if that na chart I got it from Ray Dalio's book. And what Ray Dalio is simply saying is that in way goes na life will move at a point in time you get one problem. If diagnose other problem well, design your solution, you will move to the next stage of your life. Which is you keep on moving upwards. Man, if you're oblivious to this cycle, you're going to keep on moving straight. And if you do not design properly and diagnose properly, chances are that your life will start going downwards in terms of your financial capacity. So that now life, the fortunes of your life, the weather, like I have said before, just like the weather, everybody na his life, na his life. Every society, every country in fact, Joseph in the Bible told Pharaoh about the 7 lean cows and the 7 fat cows. Everybody in your life, the years of fatness. After that, in years of leanness, relative to where you are. And what I mean, I can one more time. My years of fatness, no. My years of fatness now relative to my income level. Unless we shift him to the next level. When I got him. So if potentially that's now your income level 5 million naira. Imagine your years of fatness are relative to your income level. Your years of leanness are relative to your income level. Take for example somebody like Dangote. If Dangote, he should 50 million naira. He gonna 50 million naira without blinking. That is not his operating range. That is not Dangote's. Dangote's operating range. Oh, we go gear not on millions and tens and hundreds of millions of dollars. So that Dangote in here, what Dangote is saying that an honor 200 or 500 million dollars on offer here. What I mean is that I'm 5 or 10 million naira. Now for home here. When you also wake up that means a person now 50,000 naira man offer here. And that is what I mean, that these cycles are relative to your income range. Am I very clear?
Yes, very well.
Very clear.
And in these cycles, you know that now. If you read your cycle well, design well, react to your cycle well, you are going to improve. So within Nigeria today, if you diagnose it properly and you design properly around what is happening in Nigeria, what it means is that now we be happy to government in Nigeria, you are going to start moving like this. If you don't diagnose the problems well, it design very well, right? Imagine that now Nigeria may move good forward. Chances are high that now that you're going to start moving downwards, or that you're going to remain stagnant where you are. So that's now you need to diagnose the situation. You need to identify that there's an anomaly situation, diagnose anya, design anya, and then implement anya for you to move to the next level. Unagotaria? Then
yes,
the point I'm making to everybody is that now you can plot this country and individual,
yes,
across years. You can plot it for your years. You can plot it for yourself. In fact, the day this Dr. Dr. Madukan in this lecture, he said he plotted his own name every 6 years. And that's not before we be no problem with that famous problem with if I know back. Oh man, at na time go so when I should na keep to hear so that now when that problem with Ofanyoba came up, psychologically he was ready for it. Oh my God, that at this point in time in his life, going by his cycle, and he will lose money. So that not on so now the problem with Ofanyoba bido. So ni hana zra jo webu kebem gadalu and all that road there utinye block. So he can start, he can learn and design and move forward. Very clear.
Yes.
So
Very well.
open that I cannot together. Open this thing, the very, very important. This is now. So, like I said, upload to go Nigeria's economic movement, and I can tell two of you, in the next 2 or 3 years, Nigeria will start moving upwards economically.
Amen.
Amen.
Sorry.
I'm telling you, is based on a natural principle of life. In the next 2 or 3 years, economic situation in Nigeria, but that economic situation in Nigeria, your personal economic situation, going by this quadrant, here. You don't have careful. Here we get the chairman of Nigeria go on a harsh economic situation.
Yes, very clear.
So that's an idea. The man in Nigeria, every no they can ATM and any jaboka. In our father because you olive oil and olive oil. You need to implement some fundamental principles. Part of you realize that's now your personal economic situation uncoupled from your environmental economic situation. You can actually uncouple it if you want. Are we still together? The young ones
Yes. Yes.
So
Unfortunately, yes, about the young ones. Young ones,
I disagree.
Right on, sir.
The young ones are here.
okay, the young ones are here.
Classify young.
I mean, they're not above 30 or 40.
They're not young.
They're above 40.
We are here. We are here.
Whether I'm young.
We are here.
So,
Okay. So now the point they make. Okay, so the point. Thank you. So the point is that now the road to wealth is not a chase for money. It is a journey of self-discovery. That is the absolute truth. And that is why I say yes, because you discover a journey of discover your ancestors, you're also discovering yourself. So the journey to wealth is a journey for self-discovery. Chances are very high in Man, you get into self-discovery, naturally react. Actually uncouple, work for you, that work for you. Chances are very high that you will become wealthy and sustainably wealthy. That is the whole point of this. So now the point is that you cannot walk through life with your eyes closed if you want to succeed. You can never walk through life with your eyes closed if you want to succeed. No. You have to also pose because a journey of self-discovery. You will need to know yourself very well because before it become more sustainably wealthy. That is the point of this thing. So because now I embark on a journey, as you have seen, like I have said, don't you about my cycle? We had a daily enjoy a he will make react to this environment in which God has put you. So it brings me to the next point is for you to move from harsh economic situation to a good personal economic situation, you must start by looking at yourself. Because you are the person that determine whether you're going to move into a good economic situation or not. The best thing God will give you the wisdom to begin to recognize the lessons before they come. And as they now inculcated the lessons, you know what to more lessons so that not tomorrow self, somebody else can come and say, BJ, lesson number 6 and lesson number 7, in addition to these 5 lessons, and you come and present. So you must start by looking at yourself. And the first thing I have to say about looking at yourself, that our behaviors are like a tip of an iceberg, visible to the outside observer. But underneath the waterline lies your thoughts, your feelings, your beliefs, your mindsets, and your core identity. And for example, what I mean by this, maybe he can now for me nezoloha. Imam man below now what my harsh cycle and good economic cycle for life. What you're seeing is what is above. What drives whether mother I can survive a harsh economic situation is what happens below the iceberg. And these are what's happening below are the lessons I know how what they going to. Are we still together? So now the first one is so self-awareness. So the first awareness is very, very important. For you to survive the harsh economic situation in Nigeria, you have to have self-awareness. And self-awareness, anybody. Self-awareness, are they create a moment? Self-awareness. The first approach to self-awareness is personal. You must look inwards and develop strategies to work through your roadblocks. So you must grow. So each you survive the economic situation in Nigeria, you must grow or shift. And we can talk about shift later, what I mean by shift. And what I mean by shift, in operating a level of 200,000 naira monthly, and he move to 5 million because he believe when I suppose he operate at 5 million. He do growth, he shift. Right? In on a 5 million now, go per month, now go to 100 million naira per month. He do growth, he shift. Right? So that is in my vocabulary, I may distinguish between growth and shift. So the first approach is personal. And like I said, and of learnings, there are 2 types. That which you're taught in school and that which you teach yourself. Ima that night, I was here and I'm with that. But I na kusilo one here. And yada kusizi, nkai motano na akwụkwọ. Anyị emechego nko na akwụkwọ. Nke ha bụzi ha na kusilo one. So the first approach is that you must develop yourself. You must develop yourself. And for that, I say read, read, and read. And the book I recommend, eventually I wanted this quote, but there's a book called The Richest Man in Babylon. By The Richest Man in Babylon. And there's another book I recommend by John Maxwell. If you know John Maxwell book, and my recommendation is the only way you get so one thing I recommend to people is to read. And like I was telling somebody today, now can't we go The Richest Man in Babylon? But now, my Oga in Shell, Sonny Okoye, who Anambra State, Anambra State, my entered the shop in Warri and saw this book and The Richest Man in Babylon. He bought a copy. And that's not talking about on a good book. Then he felt that the book is very, very important. He went back to the bookshop and bought all the copies hanging at the bookshop. And that is how Oshu will take copy to our office. And that is how I went after the book and I bought it and I read it. Bikonu, if you don't learn anything today, only open a try go because that is how you now start gaining self-awareness, awareness as to who you are, which is very important to succeeding sustainably in life. The second approachment is environmental. Edoloki. You want all ebe and a coaching mother. Offices where an assessments and a feedback. Or in our role of organization, like in our role for like me, I was very lucky. I got work in Shell or in Anderson first. And at Anderson, they take personal development seriously. And then thereafter, I moved to Shell. So what I would enjoin the young people is in our child, don't just look at the money. Also look at every game with all for personal development. And in one organization, please take personal development of your staff very seriously. And for the younger people, become a coach or a mentor. Because a lot of the things you can get a coach. A coach in one sentence can teach you almost what your parents would take you 10 years to teach you, for example. And me, in my life, I have sought out mentors and coaches. I have sought out mentors. And I tell the mentor, no, bro, keep your hand hold them, or just give them what you think about in life. And then the mentor might, because we will somebody who has achieved very lot. And I can tell you, I remember when I wanted to go after somebody like Atedo Peter side. It took me close to 6 months before I got Atedo Peter side to agree to mentor me. And Atedo Peter side, money ana bankata, he only speaks because I put him okay. He will only tell me one sentence. Oshim, what are you going through? Oshim business just one sentence. Only that one sentence or piachi. She and you out. So because in life, try out with a mentor, a coach. A coach will teach you a lot of things in life that nobody and your parents cannot even teach you. So those are the foundational lessons. To moving now to the lessons anybody can implement. If you don't know your cycle and you're not self-aware, even if you implement these lessons, you will make progress, man, and you will just be shooting in the dark. For you to shoot with accuracy, you need to understand your life cycle and you need to have personal awareness. You need to understand that you need to develop and you also need to seek development from your environment. And part of development from your environment is that you need to get a coach or you need to get a mentor and you need to read. You need to read. Because now, like the John Maxwell thing, John Maxwell, this thing, this cycle from Ray Dalio. I got it from a book I read. And I think I saw the book when I was discussing when Lagos. I had a session with Atedo Peter side. And when I have an office in about table, I just made the mental notes. And that is how I bought the book. And I found it to be very interesting book. So because all young people, you got that is why today. Today, I got today. That doesn't mean I got tomorrow. That doesn't mean I got next year. Are we still together?
Yes, so very much together.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let us
sir.
launch into the lessons. Now, time is moving very fast. The lesson number one is your relationship with God. That is because God will take you where your parents are incapable of taking you. And what I mean relationship with God, I shall call relationship with Father Dico, forgive me. I talk about relationship with joke every Sunday. Cultivate a sincere relationship with God, whatever you deem him or her to be. That is lesson number one. Open new relationship with God, the man that now you will search in the dark for this journey. And open that now you think the relationship with God is in a joker, a man in this gear. Cultivate a relationship with God, whatever you deem him or her to be. And when you open a Jesus Christ would have been killed by Herod if God did not send Archangel Gabriel to save him. Jesus. That one for sure. No, Jesus. Open Angel Gabriel Abiaron. That's Joseph and Mary happily about also. Man, a lot of people miss things there made at that story. When Archangel Gabriel came, he spoke, and Joseph and Mary listened. Open in a sincere relationship with God. It doesn't matter. I'm not much against the angel called Abiagwaga Babosa. At the angel, when he came out, why you here? It against the angel. Open that now. Joseph and Mary, again, Jesus. The only reason why is that God sent Angel Gabriel. The angel spoke, and Joseph and Mary listened. So now the question you can do yourself, Bo, do I have a sincere relationship with God? Then number two, Chukwu's angels hana agwamuku and me egedenti at all. On not inside my head, now go with me hemcho. Ngwache with me hemcho. Jemmy hemcho. In that case, now go with me hemcho, then the man that's in the world of God cannot save you. Because they believe from that God desires anybody to suffer. God wants us. He had to go into Nigeria. He had them. In fact, one woman, money another he had that don't job for Muchineke. So she had Tinubu or she Matinubu for Muchineke. Madatsna Umuchineke, Chukuzi angel kakozi Umuchineke negenti. Implement Uzi Chukuzira. Egota. Unagotari hem neku.
I got to talk more.
The first lesson, the foundational lesson. Check are you not together? The foundational lesson is that you must have a sincere relationship with God. Even though some so no one has Ibobo. In Onuka, uche gadino no do we onoda onodo uche gadino kije we move just on for onodo. You must have a relationship with God.
Yeah, BJ, I got you must have a sincere relationship with God. The
Yes.
one I got a hobble. How Tinubu is not for children of God. I don't got that one.
Okay, come also. Ima that's na Herod, with Herod. The story of Herod is very clear. Herod set out to kill Jesus.
I got that one very clearly.
And what saved Jesus? But that's na Archangel Gabriel spoke. Mary against it. Now, you get inside a dangerous situation. Chukwuezi angel ka agwa abia whisper to you, she will him stop.
I got that one.
So that's now. In a sincere relationship with God, you must also be listening to God as well for direction.
I got that one.
So now that is all.
This angel in this context, is it your instinct?
Oh, your conscience. Your conscience.
Sorry,
Angel now.
Is it your conscience? Your instinct?
Angel wakeable DJ na kuziri heta.
Exactly.
Angel wake up in your dream. Angel na uniforms. Angel wake up wakita na kuzili unu ha. Na chuku na chizu unu ya mere oju esite BJ ko na kuzili unu ha. The question be na kwenti.
Exactly.
They believe you.
I agree.
My own take is that I agree with you about listening, but the listening is more effective when you are formed. Only one formation can listen to his pastor, and then he's listening, and the pastor can mislead him, or the father can mislead him, and so on. So I think you need to have good formation first. You have good formation, then you can begin to listen. That is why I feel we shouldn't spend much time on this topic and begin to listen and not listen, and move on to the other topics.
Okay. Man, the point in the make that na the point in the point. If you desire a sincere relationship with God, and it starts with desire, right? Ide joka ke bata ego. Ine joka ke gota chukwu, gota chukwu ka chukwu gota. God will lead you to where you need to be. So that point, yes, Obaino, I agree with you, man. I'm just saying that for Muma, everybody must try to have a sincere relationship. It doesn't work because Nando's on a joker. It doesn't work because Nando's on a joker.
When personal conviction and personal relationship.
Yes, the worker because naturally with sincere and personal relationship with God. You don't care about what the next man or what the next man is saying or doing, because that is the point.
Absolutely. I agree.
Okay. That is lesson number one. That is foundational because the second lesson I have is that you must find your purpose in life, your ikigai. The Japanese call it ikigai. You are here for a reason, and the reason goes beyond yourself. You're not here for a purpose or something or what. And the ikigai, so now the Japanese concept iki conguys iki and alive. You're here. What is your reason for being? In some cases, people now chop that their ikigai very early. Like if you do mad flavor, if you do mad Davido, you need the name that's not Davido. If you got Davido na go na abu you're gonna ikigai ya di go na ibu open na Davido try label an engineer. A man succeed go very much. These are people who have found their ikigai. Everybody don't know why will purpose. That if you find that purpose and you implement that purpose, you will be sustainably wealthy. And I'm coming to demonstrate it. Once you are aware, if what Tiger Woods na play golf, igamana ikigai ya golf. Why? Because Tiger Woods got play golf. On a in a day at times, on a 3 or 4 rounds. Opia no toto, opia ni fifi, opia ni fifi, opia nambode. All 18 holes. In a share the amuke monica da wugagu. Oshimba, as long as he comes to golf, no ga pian golf, even pia banabani. So now that is his ikigai. So that now your very first assignment in why after you have a sincere relationship with God is to find your purpose. And I will go further in defining what your purpose is. Your purpose is what you love, what you're good at, what you can be paid for, and what the world needs. So take for example, my ikigai will keep in a day. As long as the mother can work and need to day, and the mother need the rain go day. Imana ikigai and I love me na code day. Do what good and equal day. I got go day. Then the mother need to go in a crew day. Imana my ikigai be code day. Unagota what your ikigai is. Onye obuna gacho ikigai ya no wa. Okay, take for example your ikigai we kibu iron poultry. In a run. Even no one dog abu. Ijo ha maka poultry business. Ka je shi na akowe ya ina shi bia or kwazi poultry go ya na akowe otu a. If una the person na akowe ya if that's not love ya. Enough ko she made the poultry business if not good at it. Enough ko she made the poultry business if not the man na be go akoko. Enough that the man need in attack on imana locate to go your ikigai. The person has located your ikigai. So your main purpose in life, the first thing is to find your ikigai. And that ikigai cannot be making money. That ikigai must be service and a go for. Right? And there are 2 things you sell. Either you sell your material, you sell your skills, or you sell your materials. Find what your ikigai is. That is lesson number 2. Amara more nwela ajuju na nka I will go further ikowa ikigai. Owere nwela ajuju ka we are still together.
Well, we are together.
Together.
Yes, we're together.
Okay, we are together. Good. So in finding your purpose, something is an intersection, something you genuinely love, right? And that brings you joy. If that thing you don't love it and it doesn't bring you joy and you're making money, man or bro, your ikigai. Right? And then the second one is you must be good at that thing. Imagine when you have your ikigai, you're not good at it. Your skills, Emma, you will be developing your skills, your abilities, and your talents. It will show that now this is what you're good at, right? And then the third one is that now your world or your society you need that thing in it. Imagine when you were an ikigai, for example, and then you need that service or service, right? Then imana or your ikigai. Then the fourth one is that you must be able to be paid for that thing in it, right? So you can then align your skills to that ikigai, and then that is how you make a living. Are we still together? So that's now.
Yes. We are together.
And some people have discovered that. Because some people now discover their ikigai very late in life. Others now discover their own ikigai very early in life. Keep on looking for your ikigai till you discover what it is. That is the second lesson. You plot all your life cycle, and then you cover your ikigai. It draws self-aware. Imam to the stage of ikigai because you need the self-awareness for you to say, look at what my ikigai is, right? And the next one I have done is, okay, take for example, you must find out which you love doing. Muma, for example, I love solving real-life societal problems. Even solve a real-life problem, Muma, I'm good at sciences and engineering of things. I'm good at solving gas and electricity supply problems. What the entire Nigeria needs electricity. Nigerians will pay for improved electricity services and electricity supply. So, Ima, when you draw the intersection of these things, you automatically see what my ikigai is and what I am doing and how I am making money doing that thing I am doing. What I'm saying. So, and if electricity, electricity work, and that is where I find fulfillment. That is where I find joy. What I'm saying. So somebody your ikigai wake that's na Ibo a nurse, Igabo nurse. In a like just like like that is where you find happiness. No. In many people, I can treat people. Wake up your ikigai, wake up a medical doctor, a surgeon. When you put your ikigai, wake up in a young Maya can somebody be an ONG, like him with my friend now Abuja, and this one by real life, he's an ONG doctor. He's ikigai. In fact, all more than your ikigai, but that's na Ibu. Your job in this world is to help children, is to help women deliver. This guy is known as MCS. He's a very old doctor, known as MCS in less than 3 minutes. His fertility clinic, you don't know where, or question here in Nigeria. You don't know where today in Abuja it is expanding. In fact, he bought the adjoining property in Awuse to demolish and built a bigger hospital. In Nigeria, he did that one this year, between last year and this year. On one of which don't know where in other for people, all manner of problems. If you look at this guy, I discuss one of his patients upon your happy everything on that discuss. Patients that is his ikigai. Everything ceases to exist as long as patients here walks into a room. That is his ikigai. Life is tough and we move in cycles. Other tough today, other tough tomorrow. What keeps you going during those tough periods? But that's now you are doing something you love. And people now, people are water. So lesson number 2, as I'm ending, is to find your ikigai, which is the meaning and purpose in this lifetime. Find it as fast as possible. If the young will chatter your ikigai, better for you. If the one old chatter your ikigai, better for you. It is that ikigai that keeps you going. You know, when the ikigai have a legal profession, you just caught name argue. You know, one that go to mad get like you just caught name argue, not defend the guy mad. That is the person's ikigai. I wish you together.
Yes.
Hey.
Yes,
Okay.
So, I have a question.
Okay, because
Should I go ahead?
yes, go ahead.
Yeah, so what about somebody that has a profession? I mean, not a profession where he's doing well and making money. But he also has something else, or like by the side, on a but he enjoys doing that thing very well, and it's something that can also be a service, But so are you advising that he should maybe leave the main profession where he's doing well and making money and go over to start doing the other one that is just
Okay, what I advise, and I touched upon it there, what I advise is that he should start that second profession as a secondary hustle. Again, with primary, because what you're looking for is multiple streams of income, right? Mm-hmm. What you're looking for to survive a harsh economic environment is multiple streams of income. So take, for example, I'm an engineer. But I notice where none of my like ETU. Yeah. And ETU, I'm a very good DJ. Right. What it simply means is that now I should look for a way of combining these my professions into one. Such that now I'm an engineer, but one stream of income. DJ, second stream of income. Company or man on near may go through engineering, make it go through ETU. Right. And when you catch it from there, by show business. What I'm saying. Yeah. Name of man, I show business. Meanwhile, I'm also a very good engineer. So now the point is that now ikigai yamandumu sofu, ikigai werike but the more ikigai you have, the more money you're able to make.
Okay, so you're not advising that you should leave one for the other, right?
No. And I will come to that. I will come to that when I talk about secondary hustle. You must have a secondary hustle. If you go to your cousin at university, assuming that your ikigai bụ ibe university lecturer, right? A bullet lecturer na UNN. Nothing says that I must only be lecturing na UNN. I can be a visiting lecturer, boss. I can be a visiting lecturer in another country that is not Nigeria. That one becomes my secondary hustle. Man, my ikigai, I seek to find my ikigai. So take, for example, I'm a lecturer in medicine. Nothing says I must only be lecturing in Nigeria in medicine. I can be going around the world in a lecture. What I'm saying.
All right.
So now that is the thing, man. You must find that which you're good at, that which you love, that which the world needs, and that which you'll be paid for. And you zero in on that thing. And that thing is what you keep on developing yourself. And that brings me to the next lesson, which is the Japanese concept about Kaizen is continuous improvement. Never stop developing yourself. Once you find that ikigai, keep on developing there. That's not success. Is many successes that will come small in small wins. Keep on developing yourself in that ikigai. And when the world does not stop. The world does not stop. As you move closer and you keep on such that at a point in time you become an authority in that area of your ikigai. And then you can begin to expand. And that brings me to the next one, which is you need to continuously expand your skills, because you need to develop your skills. You will start expanding your platform. Aim to have, this one is very important, aim to have a global or an African platform as a minimum, as this will fetch Forex. And let me explain what I mean. Okay, take for example, somebody study medical sciences. What I mean by having a global platform, some Nigerians now born, some under born, you restrict yourself to the United States. Wow. The whole aim of Igwakuko in a Western country, like United States or Canada or Australia or New Zealand, is that you're aiming to create a global platform. You can render service or your products can go around the whole world. That is the primary aim. When each of your ikigai na United States, now render services only in United States, in manner you're shortchanging yourself. What's that platform? You have expanded your platform, and what that platform is that you should be able to go anywhere in the world, general world, right? As a minimum, an African platform as a minimum. What having an African platform does is that it will give you Forex. Naira, in Alona Kenya, in Alona South Africa, in Alona Botswana, in Alona Uganda, in Alweba. Why? Because you're operating from the United States or you're operating from Canada. Are we still together? And you,
yes.
Are we still together?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Never you limit your platform to one country. The whole essence of international education is that it affords you an international platform. And please utilize that international platform, or as a minimum, make it an African platform. Don't look at only Nigeria as your area of operation. Once you have an African platform or a global platform, it automatically fetches you Forex. ERA is go above the currency of any country, of one country. On an international currency. You in America, you need more operate in South Africa. You need more in South Africa, you need more operate in Nigeria. You need in Nigeria, you need more operate in Kenya. Or you need more operate in all these places simultaneously. That is the aim of having a global platform. Try to have a global and African platform via continuous improvement. It's about your ikigai, you don't improve continuously. And ikigai, for example, assuming your ikigai is farming, and you have na farm about cassava or yam, try to go export about that yam to Ghana, Cotonou, wherever you can export the yam to. Once you're able to start exporting that yam, Imana will have fabricated an African, a global platform. And what that platform fetches you is Forex. And Forex enables you manage the harsh and the soft and the good economic cycle situations that will happen. And for example, some of the skills that I have said, this one came from McKinsey, that everybody should look at: software development, applied AI, climate change technologies, electrification, renewables, future of mobility, digital trust, cloud edge computing, industrial machine learning, advanced connectivity, immersed reality. bioengineering, future of robotics, quantum technologies. What I have listed here is what will be the future of technology in the world. If you become an expert and take, for example, your ikigai is in IT, and you become the main person in Africa, assuming you live in Nigeria, you are the next generation, the applied AI expert. In South Africa, in your lecture. Assuming na teaching is also your side hustle. In South Africa, na akuzi. You must continuously develop your skills and expand your skills. And I say for the last time, if you go abroad and you study abroad, don't limit yourself to that country where you acquired your degree. Please fabricate a global platform, as a minimum African platform, so you can sell your skills or you sell your products. That is how you bridge the gap between the harsh economic period and the economic period. Very good. And then it brings me again to Kaizen, and that is the question somebody always have a secondary hustle. Your secondary hustle should be related to your primary hustle, and better still, modern ikigai based. So better still, in a secondary hustle. So take for example, I'm a civil servant. I'm looking for a secondary hustle in farming, animal husbandry, teaching, fish farming, tailoring. And for that secondary hustle, always look for an innovative approach for your secondary hustle. Why? Because there are people who your secondary hustle will be their primary hustle. So the only way you beat them in making that thing that's your secondary hustle is if you have an innovative approach. And then the fourth point is, don't be greedy. In any way, keep the secondary hustle. Secondary hustle, and then just go carry a primary hustle. Those who your secondary hustle with their primary hustle, because now you a portion of your profits, you start becoming greedy. Because Lieutenant have a secondary hustle. Don't be greedy, share your profits. Lieutenant, this is a secondary hustle. And then the third point for continuous improvement. Okay, take for example, my primary hustle is I'm an engineer. I develop power solutions. But my secondary hustle is teaching. I teach, I go to, and then that secondary hustle, I go to different African countries and I give them power courses. I teach power courses. And then, because now, these power courses, when they bring me in to teach, Hashim engineer, let us split your profits. Let us split your money 50-50. Ima that's now, the concept of
am I putting the same effort?
What I'm saying is, yes, you have to physically go. You develop these things. You develop the work. But no secondary, you can do. You wake up. Secondary hustle wake up. After work. Mana because now, you're good at your secondary hustle at well. You're equally good at doing that thing. What I'm saying. Okay, take for example, somebody be a medical doctor, be a DJ, right? I'm a medical doctor. I'm a very good doctor. I'm a very good DJ. Now somebody wake up, somebody on Saturday evenings. So every Saturday evening, as a DJ can be a TU. Only assume that now, you know what my big and TU now, you can 50% of your profit.
I get it. I get it now.
And she 50% to get a came out of
I get it.
I have forgotten that now it's secondary hustle. That is not my primary income. It's my secondary hustle.
No, DJ, I disagree there.
Okay,
what you forgot is not that. What you forgot is that the man that is getting you a job is also doing work.
Yes.
Yes.
Not doing a job. Exactly. It's not about secondary. Exactly.
So the man is doing work.
That's
not taking for granted that the man is
exactly.
Okay, thank you.
That is what explains it.
So that is the man. That is the man's primary. That is his primary hustle, or that's his primary job. Your own is that you're coming in to complement what the people are doing. So don't be greedy in sharing your profits. Then the third one is continuously expand your horizon. Networking is absolutely fundamental. Never stop networking. And that is why this thing I made it very important. I know discussion some people think that why am engaged? No. You should see it as a networking opportunity. And once you start networking, what I will advise is try to identify value-adding people based on your ikigai and get close. You may identify your ikigai. So, be a group of people, not be a site, him now trouble can do the value adding. Those are the people I try to start getting close to. And then the third point is network based on future potential and really on current reality. And I say this thing because most people where mad become mad, that is when you try to network with that person. Chances are very high that now when the person becomes an mad, the person will not want to talk to you. So when you go to events, whatever circle God places you in, try to identify people you believe will gain with future potential and try to network with them. And then networking opportunity, try to equally take it as a networking opportunity. Network, identify, and then build your networks. You must not, and that brings me to the fourth point, you must not be friends with someone to network with that person. Just ensure that now, the person, there's some mutual benefits involved in that networking. Then the fifth one is join credible Nigerian platforms for international reach. When you join a platform, for example, the World Bank in AJ, Africa Development Bank in AJ, German agency in AJ, you start networking in that places. Automatically, what is happening is that you're building your international reach. I hope we are clear with this number 3, continuous improvement.
Very clear.
Never stop improving yourself. My fourth principle is spend. And when the money begins to come, remember moderation, like spend, invest.
Oh, somebody Juju.
Sorry.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. Oh, well, I raise that's
no. Just correction.
Okay. You can use as a network as a networking. I'm just giving an example.
Very important correction. Very important correction.
Okay, because you can use as a networking opportunity. You don't have to like the just you seek what you're looking for and you take it and you move. Then
my raised hand is for a question though.
Okay, Biko, go ahead.
Okay. My question was around your comments, Ebiku, that we need to always have find value in the thing for us. Someone would say that is being transactional because you are just going, or you are making a relationship, or you're having a conversation, or you're taking a meeting because there is something in it for you. Is this what this means? And is that okay? Or is there a different angle?
No, there's a different angle to being transactional.
Okay.
In whatever grouping of people you go to, try to identify so take for example, my ikigai be medical doctor, people couples fertility clinic and all that. Identify that as my ikigai. When I go to a circle of people, right? Only the value adding for me, when ikigai be in no, my value adding person will be a medical doctor in the United States. I want to know what their practices are. Because I'm looking to build an African platform. When I practice medicine in South Africa, that is my value adding person. Or transactional. I'm just trying to keep on improving myself.
Can I help?
Yes.
So can I help? I'm thinking that what it should be, is that you should be alert and awake, to opportunities and possibilities. So even where Chisomi is headed about being transactional and being too smart. Instead of you just name me the way you should do it, you now calculate, now scheme, looking like a schemer that is scheming into, you understand? But I think what you're trying to say is that as you are doing showing your ikigai or recognizing your ikigai and trying to do your job, you should also be smart to recognize opportunities and key to the opportunities, which could be people. Even 100 people, you could see that you're enjoying yourself, but if for somebody like you, that who can actually help you and project you, you could also take that opportunity. That's what I think.
That's it.
But
that's it.
On another note, DJ,
yes?
I don't think we should be apologetic in saying that we should follow the money when we are doing business, right? That is what I'm saying, is that each other your ikigai. Who that na your ikigai we in the Maraka before in your Madeka, you do your numbers. Be sure that na for doing
Precisely.
Exactly. Yes. So if that's what Jisom is asking, tell him yes. You must do the numbers and be sure that the transaction will pay for your effort and you have some money to take home. I think we should do that too, because sometimes that's where we miss it. So,
Chibike has something to ask too.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, so at the same time as you're saying that you have an ikigai, that okay, you find people who can benefit you in maybe your field of work. Do you mean like now for example, now maybe if you're in school and maybe you want to have a very good score, obviously, so you can find those who maybe do better in class, have higher grades, so you can stay closer to them, not staying closer to people who you know doesn't do better in this. So maybe like you have two friends now, one does well in English, the other does well in maths. When it comes to maths, you stay closer to this guy because you know he's good at maths. And when it comes to English, you stay closer to the person who's good at English. Is that what you're trying to say?
Are you talking about staying closer during exam?
Not in exam, to learn more.
No, not in exam, just like
no, to learn more. To learn more. Yeah, to learn more. To learn more, because that's it.
Like
because you're headed somewhere.
Study together.
So I just want to be sure. I just want to be sure.
Studying together.
Yeah, studying together. Because precisely you're headed somewhere. You're headed, that's the whole essence. You're headed somewhere. You're not just, and that's the thing about ikigai. Once you find your ikigai, you're headed somewhere. You know, you don't just loiter around or hoover around with whoever you see. Or if you're in a journey, no ways. You understand?
I just think now in a medi transaction, let it be a win-win situation, whether it's horizontally or vertically. Let it be a win-win situation for you and the person. But if you're always thinking of taking advantage, or so let it be a win-win situation. If you have that in mind, you can be able to progress, and the person will be able to progress too.
Yeah. In whatever, it must be mutually beneficial. And I say it must be a mutual benefit. It must be a mutual benefit.
I agree with Edjo completely.
Yeah.
I agree with Edjo. Let me also emphasize why it must be mutually beneficial is that if it is not mutually beneficial, then it's not self-sustaining.
Precisely.
It is only when it is mutually beneficial that is now renewable energy. It's self-sustaining, right? You can fool some people sometimes, but you can't fool all the people all the time.
Precisely. If your networking is not mutually beneficial, then it's not sustainable. Then it's not very, very clear, as William has said. So, in moving on, the fourth lesson is that you should spend, invest, and give. And I mean, and it's built on the Japanese philosophy of harahachi. Don't eat everything, and it ties to the previous one. It must be of mutual benefit. You must invest, you must give, and you must save after spending on yourself. And some tips is never take up any habits during your rich cycle that you cannot sustain during your poor cycle. And that applies to everything about life. Never form habits that are unsustainable. Whatever habits you take up, noting that if you take up take for example, you buy flashy cars, and that is why you see some of these big men or rich men, rich artists, they become rich, they buy flashy cars, and then they can't sustain the flashy cars, and then they have to sell it off. You understand? Track your expenses and undertake a monthly review. Know where your money is going. And part of the tips, instead of increasing salaries of helpers or workers during the off cycle, reduce their days and try to do a little bit of it yourself. And then most importantly, exercise, stay healthy, and stay safe. There's no point saving up money and then you get kidnapped and you give it away to people. Try to exercise, and there's no point if you make money, you give it away due to you have not been exercising and you haven't been keeping yourself safe as well. So these are some of the tips we are giving in these harsh economic times to help people manage the situation, the cycle you find yourself. So going further, you save and invest for the poor cycle. Know that a poor cycle will come. Save and invest for that. Okay. Go ahead.
Yeah, because Imana, any non-wine for one to be successful, isn't it?
Yes.
But well, percentage of success not at the chamma. Well, success so what level not the so can you give us an example of being successful in life? What is all about? What is it all about?
Success in life is where, hey, now it varies from person to person. But let me, to be honest with you,
Yes,
so
it's relative.
success in life is relative. But
Relative.
what I would call as success in life is when you find your ikigai and you're doing that ikigai. Because when you find your ikigai and you're doing that ikigai, what it then means is that you will have money to take care of your basic needs, right? And then you have money to go beyond your basic needs to help other people. That is what I call success. And I won't put a range to that success. Once you're doing ikigai, you're happy. You're happy with yourself.
Exactly. DJ, it's also good to say that at Ibobo, we have some standard definition of success. And in Ibobo, we say that success is about successful succession. That is not about succeeding in a thing yourself. It's about handing it to the next generation and watch them do it better than yourself.
Yeah.
So it's not about money.
Yeah.
It's about
it's not only about money, you mean?
No, what I'm saying is that success cannot be about money.
It's not about money.
No, it's not. Exactly.
There's a bit of money in it. Let's not.
What I'm saying is that what I'm saying is that our own, when we say Ibobo is not a money-making organization. And
I'm just trying to level of comfort. That's the point I'm making.
Ibobo standard
as a sustainability.
Exactly.
Yeah,
so
it's good to have some money and then.
No, let me just finish. I'm not saying that this. I mean, we already agree that it varies. But what we had come to, anyway, to say that success is about finishing something, handing it over, and watch people that you handed over do it better than you. Which means
that's a kind of success.
That's a particular part of success.
Kind of success.
But I think if you're doing your ikigai, there is no way, if you find your ikigai, you're doing ikigai, you will be relatively successful. You will be comfortable. If you're doing ikigai, you will be comfortable. You might not have plenty of money, but at least you will have enough to get by.
No, what I'm saying is that what is the definition of comfort?
Comfort is anything you look out for. It varies from person to person. It varies from person to person. It's relative.
You talk now.
It's relative.
It's relative.
Yeah, I agree. So anyway, let's not deviate from.
Yes, let's not. Yeah. So the point is, you know that there will be a poor cycle, so you save and invest for that poor cycle.
Somebody's hand is up.
Okay.
Hello.
Okay,
Good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
Belije, please, I just want to ask a question. Good evening.
Yeah. Please. Yeah.
We're still on the success issue. Now, there are people who are, you talked about tip of the iceberg, what others see. So who people see as successful, okay? Maybe they are comfortable, they live a good life, blah, blah, blah. But somehow they don't feel successful within them. Maybe because they have not fulfilled their passion, what they think is their passion in life. For example, someone who is a doctor is comfortable doing all that, but maybe within that person who feel that passion, is to maybe organize things in the society, organize, do make impact in some other aspect of society. Or maybe a child, for example, who is, has a comfortable job, earning a living. And then, so if that child now tells you that, look, I'm not happy here, I'm not successful here, I want to follow my dream, what advice can you give to that person? And is that person really not successful because he feels he's not? I don't know if you understand my question.
Okay, I get your point. If you haven't found and such people haven't found your ikigai, and that is why ikigai, after your relationship with God, the second thing I think is most important is for you, even if you are making money, even if you're making money by the virtue of the fact is that you're in a good cycle or you're in the off period, I would still encourage that person to search for his guy. That what it means is that if you're doing it, you're going to be more successful than you currently are. So take for example, just to give an example, the person is successful and is operating at the range of 5 million naira every month. And you're calling this, and the person says, listen, I'm not really successful, I haven't found my ikigai, so I'm not doing my passion, I'm not doing my purpose. What that person is saying is that if he finds his ikigai, he will experience a shift. And that shift, chances are very high that will take him much higher.
I would like you to ascribe a certain percentage to being happy in what you are doing and making the percentage also you can allocate to being at least having some money from what you are doing. You understand? There should be a percentage. You guys, they're enough for this person who is doing this, or now this person is not very happy with the money.
Okay. Let me try to give an example. Let me try to give an example. Assuming I'm an IT engineer, operating from Nigeria, and I discover that I'm an engineer. I didn't know that my ikigai was IT. I didn't know my name. I'm not a Nigerian now. And I discovered that, and I start saying that I'm not satisfied thereby. And I think now my passion book and eat the code, and I start writing code, and I discover that I'm very good at code, and I discover that I can sell these codes internationally, right? And because of this code, they're just Obodo Ibo. And the sky is really my limit. The sky is really my limit. My what I would enjoy in that person is try out the way code for the whole world, because this is what you're very good at. Try out become one of the top 5 people who need the code in this world, such that they need the code in South Africa. Don't limit yourself. Don't say because now you the code, you need the code. You the code na artificial intelligence, first degree and masters in the United States. It was in a wall there. No, I will say listen. The world is your platform.
Can I help?
Yeah, your income level is what you pick at. I don't know if that
can I try and help here?
Yeah.
So I think we need to refer to Maslow's.
Sorry, there's this unknown that needs to mute him or herself.
Exactly.
Somewhere unknown now. You need to mute him or
And somebody mute him. I put your option on the ear. Uche, can you mute yourself? Uche, are you here?
Yeah, I'm not bad, but I get mute here shortly.
Okay, please go ahead. Go ahead. You have a very interesting.
So, Ashim, and while trying to talk about success, can we refer to paradigm and Maslow's hierarchy of needs so that we don't discuss in absolute terms? Because I feel that it is a thing of the level of exposure and the paradigm. Maslow's hierarchy of needs define what people could feel, because what you feel as success today will not be what you feel to be success tomorrow. It depends on where you are on the Maslow's hierarchy of needs. I don't know if all of us are exposed to Maslow's hierarchy of needs. There are people who feels, I still remember that when I was in primary school in Enugu, I was always dreaming of the day I will ride a bicycle like my father in the village. And for me, that was what I thought was the ultimate success. I was using Boris in Police Detective College, Enugu. At a point, I went back to the village to Christ High School. And my biggest dream then was how I was going to inherit my father's long john. Eventually, I was able to impress my father enough. And the man told me to go and take up the long john that he was not using anymore, because I bought the tubes and the tires to rehabilitate the long john. The very first day I wrote that Long John to Christ High School, the success changed for me. So I feel that trying to define success in absolute terms maybe derailing.
Difficult.
It's better we really.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's why I think we should leave it to what Belije said. Your ikigai. That's it. When you identify your ikigai and you're doing it, you're successful. Period.
Yeah, precisely. Precisely.
And it's giving you satisfaction, you know. That's
that's it. What is satisfaction?
And also to know that your ikigai, when you are 25 years old, will not be your ikigai when you're 55 years old.
Yeah.
Might not, yes.
Yeah, precisely.
Yeah, your paradigm could shift.
Yeah, precisely.
And it will become more knowledgeable, more experienced, and you now know that you were thinking like a child when you were 25.
Precisely. Thank you. And also, I also want to say that if your ikigai is telling you that your platform is the entire world, don't say it's not true. Ima, go to my platform, you can ship the entire world. No, it's not. Ima, believe that your platform is the entire world, and then go ahead and market your services and your products to the entire world. Ima, don't with Elon Musk came from a small community. Nothing says that you can become the Elon Musk of now your ikigai. I'm making bude ibolafa eji makare we mala botinya bond the global map. Nothing says that. So let me move on. So the world is your platform. Go ahead and paint on it. Look for your ikigai and go ahead and satisfy your ikigai. Enugu State. Your ikigai might be Nigeria. Your ikigai might be the whole world. Then let the world be your ikigai. The point I made is, once you start getting international education, know that now God wants to give you an international platform. And don't restrict yourself again to a singular platform. Try to stick to that international platform. We can go back to that one and discuss later. So the point I made is,
question I think answered.
Yeah, save, invest.
Yes, I think you are really making the point. But then this thing called wealth is what most of us are looking for. But you find out that now most of the people, particularly in Nigeria, who have the money, are not very happy. Where you find people who are happy are middle level, people who are midway. But so, Anmashe, what percentage will you ascribe to?
No. See my point there. See my point. Yeah. My point is that, and that is why I felt I kept on emphasizing that this presentation is for younger people. A lot of people in Nigeria are not doing it, guys. They're not. They're in my.
I feel that once you focus on money, you will never be happy in life.
Yeah. Thank you. Once you focus on money, you're never going to be happy. But if you focus on your ikigai, you're going to be doing passion, be happy, and you might end up getting that money to your desired level.
Exactly.
That's it. So focus on your ikigai. That's the learn. Thank you very much. So the second point I wanted to make is never invest on returns lower than inflation rates. This is very important. So if you're holding Naira, and because I see people marketing, selling of bonds, please don't invest in anything that is lower than inflation rate, because what it means that you're losing money. Never invest in a business you don't fully understand. Owning your residential building might be good for your ego, but not a good investment if you have not settled. Apart from your home, never own a building which your children cannot sell. You might never build that gigantic mansion. Tomorrow, you have discovered that you made a loss in a foreign land. Holding your savings in dollars, preferably outside Nigeria during the Nigerian post cycle, might be the way to go. If you're saving in Naira and it may make 10% return on your savings, know that you're taking a loss automatically. Then the second point, which I've said, is think global. Never stop thinking global or think African as a minimum. Make the world your platform, especially as the world is getting into the internet age. Try to make the world your platform. It will help sustain your wealth. Then the last one I said is, as you give, so you receive, so you must give. Giving is similar to breeding. Never as you breathe in and breathe out, so you should give, so you receive. Never miss an opportunity to give, and give with sincerity. And when we say give, some people think that the only thing you can give is money. You don't have to give money. You can give your time. You can give your intellect. You can give whatever. All people who arrange this Ibobo session for us, they are giving to all of us. So give. Give. You mustn't give money. You can just give. You're like a Joji, you're like a Meha, you're giving. When you're giving to society, you're giving. You're giving your intellect. When you're discussing and you're giving knowledge, you're equally giving. It mustn't necessarily have to be money. But please give, because as you give, so you receive. You have law number 4. And then save, invest, and never give up. Perseverance is the secret to success. Right? Then my 5th lesson is please be teachable. It refers to humility and eagerness to learn. Don't always believe that you know it all. As you approach life with an open mind. As you exchange ideas and perspectives, listen to the next person and believe you have something to learn from anybody you meet, and try to learn. As the world is, and this is even more important because the world is evolving at a faster rate. Recognize that your 2 biggest barriers in life to good decision making are your ego and your blind spots. That is according to Ray Dalio principles. And why is this important? We are in a period of vast global change, the 4th industrial revolution. Digitalization is interrupting everything. You need to broaden your skill set. So you must approach everything with a beginner's mindset. You start by listening and you add value by contributing what you have. From your Ibobo base, think globally, be global. So, and one way you can do that is never stop learning, never stop reading, never stop growing. And my final words is, life is filled with obstacles. Does that mean you should not pursue anything? Because nothing is the harsh. Obstacles and frustrations will happen. But what the meaning of those obstacles are to help you get in touch with who you really are. As you have seen, the journey to sustainable wealth is the journey to self-discovery. You will overcome hardships, and you will build greater awareness to overcome those hardships, and you will need to develop new skills. You will discover beautiful parts which you never knew existed. Despite all the obstacles you have faced, you have come so far. You're still going to achieve many more things. Don't let obstacles stop you. Do your bits, and the natural flow of life will take you where you want to go. That is the end of my presentation. Good
evening.
Fantastic.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
BJ, I have a question.
Okay, go ahead.
Sorry. Based on the topic, and the topic was on hardship, how to overcome surviving the harsh economic situations in Nigeria.
Yeah.
So, and from your prediction based on Kichiwata,
cycles, economic cycles,
is in the next 2 to 3 years.
Things will start
to in Nigeria.
Yeah.
Yeah. So is it just like a prophet? It's like a prophecy, or for example, if we realize now,
is it based on any scientific facts?
Prophet now.
If you go back there, you can go back and do it this night yourself, because it's not based on any prophecy. And I got that things getting better in Nigeria, you know, things get getting better. That is
so you mean that maybe
continue? Is asking you, come on, apply in that power.
So we have uncoupled by this lecture. We have uncoupled those 2 things. We have uncoupled those 2 things. Okay, take for example, can you give an example? Assuming when I was younger, I had received this lecture, and I had gone abroad to create a global platform. Right? I will not be looking at. I will be coming to Nigeria, man. I will not make Nigeria my only platform. I will make my platform the whole of Africa. So if I'm not Nigeria, I will come to Nigeria and stay. Nata Bono. Man, whether things may go well or not in Nigeria economically is not really my worry, because I will be making my money from a global platform. You understand? The whole purpose of this talk is to elevate. So irrespective of what is going on na Nigeria, you are in a good place economically.
Right.
So, man, however, if you're stuck, even though you just in Nigeria, Nigeria, God has not offered you a global platform, then you must try to implement all these lessons, because if you implement all these lessons, chances are very high that you will start fabricating an African platform, and using that African platform, you can also insulate yourself from the Nigerian economic condition. I don't know if I've answered your question. Man,
DJ, let me try to help as well.
Yes.
So, they say necessity is the mother of invention. Adversity breeds innovation and growth. Yes. And when you hit rock bottom, the only direction to move is up.
Yes.
So these are the basic principles that I think BJ is standing on, to say that in the next 2 years, Nigeria will start growing. And I'm sure that BJ means maximum, right? Because that growth may have started yesterday. Just that people who don't have the skill set to predict it properly will not know. But that growth, I think, may have started yesterday.
Yeah, not at the forefront of the growth.
I know.
No, but
I get
sorry,
it.
Can you get the question? BJ, I understand why we want to be, hopeful that now again with growth and working, like you have said, on with all the indices, being progressive. But the fact is that ordinarily, if especially the leadership and most people continue to do the same thing the way we are doing it, because the growth doesn't happen in isolation. You understand? It doesn't happen in isolation. It has to happen while we are working towards it, making all the efforts that we need to. I mean, I emphasizing need to do, because if we continue to do the same thing and everything is going backward, I don't know how, based on your projection, can they, unless there's other things, like going
digression. I think we're losing sight of the primary behind the river, which is about ourselves and not just about Nigeria.
Exactly.
Yes.
That's the question I wanted to answer.
Don't focus on Nigeria. Focus on yourself. Stop focusing on Nigeria. Focus on yourself.
Exactly.
In the chat box is open.
That's my
also
hope.
put questions there, but I can't see it.
Yeah.
Okay, you can ask the question. Focusing on Nigeria. Focus on yourself.
Right.
Forget Nigeria.
Anyway, there are some hands that are up. That's my own.
Okay.
Yes. Go ahead. Okay.
Okay. I wanted to put in the chat box, but let me just ask. So I wanted to ask, please, Sir, how you talked about predicting the cycles of our lives, practical ways of predicting the cycles of our life, just like this Maduka that was able to predict his life cycle. Can you give us practical tools?
Okay, practical ways. What you say is, look at the year I was born. Look at the year I went to secondary school and I graduated. Look at the year I graduated from university. Right? Ogumama your life. Look at the way I got work. Things move well. I began to have surplus money. Look at the year I got married. Look at the year I built my house. Or look at the, as Dubem said, you bought a bicycle. Then suddenly, sometime this year, I noticed that now I hit difficulty. You write the date. If you write a chronology of your life according to the highlights from start to 2024, you will notice that your life has a cycle. Try it, you will notice. Because of course, when on a primary school and secondary school, you don't have money, so you can shade that one out. From when you graduated from university, write a chronology of your key highlights of your life, financial key highlights of your life. You will notice that it's a cycle. If you write it properly, if you can remember, follow that timeline, you will notice that it has a cycle. And then if you look at that cycle, if you have been noting properly, you might notice that, or if you have lived long enough, you notice that when it goes up, it comes down. Look at how it goes up. And that timeline, as Koschari said, that he had nailed his own down to 6 years. Try and do this exercise when you get home this night. Different people, your cycle might be 2 years, your cycle might be 3 years, your cycle might be 8 years, your cycle might be 7 years or 8 years. But I learned it from him and I did it, and I have my cycle.
My take is that you answered the question.
Yeah.
That whether we know our cycle or not.
I have a question. This cycle, is it just a matter of timing?
Is it just a matter of what?
Like it comes in 5. Is it important, or is it just about, chronology?
No. What's the
important
cycles?
to know
What's the cycles?
When I was high, when I was low.
Now you can, as Ray Dalio has said there, when you're able to identify your cycles, as Ray Dalio has pointed out there, he got a book. He chronicles his own cycles brilliantly. There was a time he started his hedge fund business, he grew, and there was a time he lost everything. He had to go back. There was a crash. There was a global crash, not due to his own fault. There was a global crash. He lost everything. He had to move in with his father and with his child and with his wife, because that was the only way he could survive. And then he started building the business from the scratch. He got these principles. You would read, Ray Dalio went into details in describing his own cycle. What I would say is, when you now start draw your own cycle is one, you now start thinking. You will be able to say, look at the problems you encountered, look at what I did well, look at what I did not do well, and look at what I will do the next time a cycle comes around to use my money, and then you can start looking at these lessons. So what it means is that some of these lessons, like I said, save, invest, give. Maybe you're not giving enough. So maybe what you could try to do is, when you have money, you try to give more, or you try to give your services, or you try to give your resources. Because what it then means is that when you have enough cycle, you expect to receive more. I don't know if I'm making any sense at all.
Yeah, BJ, you did. You made a lot of sense, but
please, please, the cycle. Sorry, is the cycle just on career?
Yeah.
It's not.
Okay, so BJ, let me also bring in. You are quoting some white people and people who wrote a lot.
What is book by Ray Dalio?
But I also want to. My father did not exceed JS3. He stopped in CIC JS3, but he was the one that taught me about the cycle. He taught me in our farm. What he told me then, which I still practice today, and it works perfectly. So maybe I can teach everybody here and they can practice it. My father told me that income will never be stable or sustainable. That income is either going up or is coming down. That if I want to live a stable lifestyle, then I should not allow my lifestyle follow my income. That when I should check a lifestyle that is normal, not too far from the people around me, that covers basic needs for the environment I'm living. When my income is going up, I should save the excess, because it will surely come down.
Sometime. Right.
When the income comes down and crosses the normal line that I've set for myself, I should use the savings that I made to keep it at that stable point that I've defined for myself.
Right.
That is the only way that I can live a stable lifestyle. I've practiced it since I graduated from university, and it has worked for me. Right now that everybody is experiencing hardship, I'm trying to keep my life stable with the savings I made when my income was going high. I don't think there's anybody in Nigeria that income is going high now.
Biography of your dad with lessons of life lessons. So we can
I wrote it it is actually in a number of places, including the tribute I gave to him when he died. So I'm saying it's not a difficult thing to learn. It is simple.
It's not if you go back to the try and plot your life cycle, you can actually do it. Like I said, I learned from strategy, and I plotted my own. So plot yours.
So just like you're saying, this man, follow, your shadow. So and he has this idea of self-authoring yourself, I went Jordan Peterson of authoring your life. I also experienced that self-authoring, practice when apply for MBA. They ask you some questions about what you've done, what you're doing now, and also what you plan. You should divide your life into 3 parts about that. So the guy was saying something about people who spend time writing carefully about themselves become happier, less anxious and depressed, and physically healthier. They become more productive, persistent, and engaged in life. This is because thinking about where you come from, who you are, and where you are going helps you chart a simpler and more rewarding path through life. So as you said, if you're able to know every shadia, every nokita, you can be able to kind of predict, if you have where you're aiming at, you can be able to predict what your future will be and how successful you can become.
Yeah, precisely.
Thank you.
Precisely. Don't be self-aware. Be self-aware.
Right. That's it.
You don't walk through life. Don't walk through life not being self-aware. Plot your life cycle.
And don't take your ancestors for granted.
I love that.
On a more serious note, because
on a more serious note,
most
I
of
love
these
that.
things in order to discover are in the calabash of wisdom that our ancestors left us.
Yeah, precisely.
I almost wanted to ask BJ, all these Japanese AI they use, right? Is it because Japanese are more successful than our ancestors?
As Dubem has said, a lot of these principles, and like I said, a lot of these principles, I'm sure all these principles are there now, but it's just that they were not chronicled, they were not documented. Even the Japanese could write, but I'm sure now in all these principles have interpretations, and that's why they resonated with me the very moment I saw it. And all these are life principles, and I'm sure I'm buying our practice. It's just that we have not documented and crystallized it the way the Japanese have done theirs, and that's why we are leaning on them. But I'm sure in research, the life and times of Ndabo very critically, as William has said. If for this chart, Redalio printed here, what his father told him, his father stopped there. And I'm sure he have a life principle now, but people
exactly. Yes.
Because
most of the most important lessons I learned as a person was listening to my father, listening to Odarije, listening to Mayo. And all these wisdoms that we're talking, in fact, we have far more.
Yeah.
Then were some ancestors that, in fact, they are still living. Professor was father-in-law Ndukaike has
Professor
Egudu. Or ancestor
living ancestor.
He's one of the
ancestors. Say how wakeable his father, because Kochani is how. Okay, people know when you came. People know when you came. Okay, Ralph and people are raising their hands. Because they will juju. Okay.
Because some of us are getting older, suddenly getting older than we thought we would get, because somehow, I'm also from Nigeria. So I'm just talking from there.
Okay.
And but the topic, is so important in our lives, particularly some of us who lived when life was good in Nigeria. Well, it's unfortunate that some of us are just living now in Nigeria when life is no more as sweet as before. We lived in the 50s, in the 60s, and the 70s. You know, but these days, I wonder how people derive happiness. You know, like so many people, some of my age mates still go to nightclub, but I don't like when they are discussing it because I don't intend to. You ought to go. So because and I like this topic. Open I got fashion out another topic, but let it be related to this very one, so that we can get something from it. I'm happy about it. Thank you very much.
Yeah. If I had never listened to Koscharis, I'm trying to wake up Papia Kuziri, and then we need a match here. Will you win as well? Will you win? I can have the candidate magic.
In fact, BJ, somebody called me yesterday because I don't know Mozo. And don't Mozo Bodogui. When I see the Yamaha with businessmen, our ancestors of those days. So, we sure not because he has not been listening to Dubai. Makanokwa no na-ege ntị no naanị ka o donishe na ya bụ ọzọ obodo ogwi ọzọ wuwere orie wuwe ụzụ shi ụzụ akpụghọ na orie azụ. That is a man that has diversified his income stream.
Yeah.
That is a phenomenal businessman.
Yeah.
He has technical skills.
Yeah.
That he can depend on completely without doing business.
And your question, Beacon.
Yes.
When we age yoga beru, it will not be wise or advisable to start looking for a second. Is that how we are?
Second source of income.
Ikigai, a second ikigai. Yes, because I know. I'm asking this question because I know a couple, and the man at 60 something now, the woman feels that the man is just, he doesn't understand this type of nonsense, and the man is comfortable. Why is he going about? You know, so that's why I'm asking this question.
No, I really don't think there will any age Madagabo where or should not give go up till you enjoy all the ancestors. And I don't think even the ancestors have given up. You got that? As Okwanka has said, even in a
not giving up, not giving up, what am I giving up? Like as I am now. Yeah? So it's not like I've given up, I'm working. But can I also start looking for a second ikigai?
Yes, you can.
Prof,
I'm still
Prof,
I'm too old.
Yes,
Prof, what I think is that you should be working actively on your second and third ikigais.
Yeah.
And like I said, I don't think you should be trying to be the best nephrologist.
Nephrologist
Anymore. I don't think you should be trying to do that. I think you should be trying to inspire and create the next generations of best nephrologists and just be their mentor and partner and get them to be at the forefront. So, and that is just improving and changing your ikigai.
It's the same ikigai. No, I think that I think what Uncle is saying, I'm good enough now. Okay, when I test something now at this age, okay, when I test something, it like you before in a meho. So it is, and those things are those things are now is the time to hone them, you know, and because it will go on a big question on you found out, so you get other things you like people before.
Yeah, Ejo, I didn't finish this thing. That's why. No, what I mean is that what I mean is that he should not abandon the practice of nephrology. He should unburden and allow younger people who he can now be their consultant and the mentor advisor and creating bandwidth so that he can do other things that, like, for instance, begin to do go into business development, right? To create other things that he may have wanted to do, as maybe economics. I know he may have wanted to be an economist, but there's an opportunity to work with to cure the Ebo economy, the UD economy, the Enugu economy. Maybe go into politics, right?
Yeah, that's the ikigai. That's what that ikigai.
No, I get you, but Prof, I wanted to start from.
No, I just said that so everybody will be taking that direction.
Yeah, assuming Ibobo wanted to be a farmer. Assuming Ibobo wanted to be a farmer.
Exactly. Which is both of us are
wanted to be a farmer
for a long time now. So, but what I'm saying is that, Prof, I don't think that you need to abandon your original guy, right? Completely, because it will be doing disservice to the world. I think what you need to do is to create bandwidth and diversify, just like also Bodogui, your grandfather.
And innovate your current guy to another level. Innovate it to another level, and that will give you more time to diversify and pursue your other ikigai.
Exactly.
That you've always wanted to pursue.
Great.
Yeah, so that's it. I've always wanted to have a cassava. I've wanted to become a cassava farmer. And I'm not getting question. Maybe when I start getting older now, boy, I will start cassava farming. I don't know.
The can advise you on cassava farming.
I always wanted to become a cassava farmer. I don't know why.
You tried it before.
So maybe one day, we're gonna have a farming to farming. That's because my ikigai, my second one. So that's it. I'm so chairman, president.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, man. We appreciate it.
Over to you.
Beautiful lecture.
Yeah.
Very engrossed, honestly. Mama, can you people hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, President.
Okay. Concerning not saving one's money in like local currency, or the possible for an individual to create a foreign account or something.
I said that because I said I saw where they were offering people bonds at 10% or 12%. And I said with an inflation rate of 33%, if you put your money in bonds, you're losing money automatically. So automatically what you could do would be to buy dollars. And if you have a brother whom you trust, assuming you know the opportunities yet to have an account outside Nigeria, and then when one name in our trust, you do go with domiciliary account, and when the money that you can give it to that your brother, transfer it to him, share today maker. In case Nigerian government play foreign games with domiciliary account. But as a minimum, I won't advise anybody to start buying bonds at 10% return. Sitting in an inflation rate of 30%, you're just losing money. You're just kidding yourself. I wouldn't advise that.
Okay.
Thank you very much. The very much you go outside Nigeria, what opportunity open an international account. That's one of the things I will advise all young people. Once you have opportunity, try and open an international account and maintain that in your account.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, there's something I wanted to talk on. EJ, you mentioned issue of going into multi-dimensional poverty.
Thank you.
I noted a few things that I felt we needed to know, right? Things that can drive one into multi-dimensional poverty. So, number one, I felt that habit is one of those things. The habit of living above your income. That is, there are people who habitually, and they are in the majority in our society, live on loans. So they take loan to buy the next big car. They take loan to rent a house. They take loan to, so now these are the kind of people that run themselves into so much difficulty that the only option they have is prayer house. and cursing their ancestors, saying that the ancestors have taken their luck and all those things. So, and it is important to know that the habit of living above your income is a sure way of not just driving yourself, but driving generations of your offspring into multidimensional poverty. Then the other one is lack of portable skill sets. When you live life by just asking people to put you in work, like I know everybody is chasing Professor Onodugo now, telling them to give them work in UNTH, rather than looking for a profitable skill set.
Yeah.
For instance, many of the guys there was one of them that I advised, don't go and take a job as a non-graduate in UNTH, because the transportation from Abo to UNTH will take all the money, and you go and borrow money in order to put in your transportation. And there were two of them. One of them took the advice and asked me what skill set I feel he should go for. I told him, you can go into learning how to be a mason, brick tiler, and that these are all very profitable. One of them took being a mason. Today, the guy earns a minimum of 10,000 naira a day. While the other guy that was going to UNTH, I don't know if it was 70 naira or so, they pay him monthly. This guy that is paid 10,000 naira a day.
70 naira or 70,000?
No, hold on. I said one of the guy that lent medicine earns a minimum of 10,000 naira a day. Any day or he comes home with profit of 10,000. Right? While the other guy was paid, I don't know where it's up to 70 then. I think it's about 50. Prof can tell me what they pay those guys that they take that are not necessarily graduates. How to call Lukuma?
Around 50 something.
Exactly. Now this guy that did medicine and today he has a car. He bought a car for himself because you can check 10,000 naira if he decides to do just 21 days every day. So he can compute what he was earning monthly. If he became a tiler, a dozen jersey minimum take home on daily basis. Any day is 20,000 naira per day minimum. So if he chose to be, he would have been earning 20,000 naira every day, multiplied by 20 days. It gives you an idea. If he decides to just work for 20 days, then you are insulated from inflation completely. Because what happens is that when inflation happens, you inflate your charges. So if you are charging, say 100 naira per square meter, you simply charge 300 naira. So it's important for our people to know the power of having skill sets, profitable skill sets, no matter how low you think it is, as simple as being a mason or being a tiler. Then the other one is mental slavery. When you believe that what is helping a dossier is because no go and that your problem is that your own ancestors are going to get enough ogu. That is the other one. They're not in trouble, right? So it's good to bring home some of these big English into daily choices we can make as individuals. So I wanted to bring our attention to that because some of these things that BJ is talking about is something that's happening today. I am sure that a dozen years is not in trouble today because he has a portable skill set. He has a profitable skill set. All he needs is just to change his rates. Simple. Inflation changes prices in the market. The man changes his rates. So, what God have done?
Correct. In fact, I can corroborate your story. Correct.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Okay. I want to thank everyone for making
Okay, Madaro.
Thank you.
And I'm making our keynote speaker in a special way. To be honest, yeah, the first time I went a lecture like this detail when it has to do with finance and how to go about it. So thank you very much, sir. Chukwu chewele yanyi. And I'm making everybody that made this thing make success. Now, from time to time, once we have a topic, we'll bring it to our notice before and Wednesday. That's we continue to have more seminars until the year runs out, God's willing. So with this, we come to the end of the seminar. Thank you and have a very night rest.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, BJ.
Thank you so much for your wonderful lecture, BJ.
Thank you.
Yes, yes. Thank you so much.
Dukwana di anyị ekele dukwana di anyị ekele Dukwana
now plan one another 2 years time.
Yes, Ejo is already planning. Yes. Good night, sir.
Old school, good night. Old school, you know, US, you know, Nigeria.
I know Nigeria.
Okay.
Good
Good night. Thank you so much. President, good night.
Good night.
Okay, catch you for no.